Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for greatness.
Shit, dang.
Welcome back to another episode of The Atomics Podcast. I am your host, Damian Jackson. Me and the AI. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about the so-called 11 missing scientists. And I say so-called because it seems like this narrative was put out there for a reason. You see that the White House has picked up the story and they're going to run with the narrative. If, somebody in the government didn't already create the narrative, but they're going to look into and investigate, which who knows what the hell that even fucking means, because we know they're trying to do other things, the war with Iran and what other agendas that they have that, Israel has them doing or not doing, whatever the case may be. And then you also have the White House Correspondents' Dinner, in which there was an assassination attempt on somebody. Don't necessarily know who, but let's get into about the scientists. So as far as the 11 missing scientists, I have seen some videos on social media in which, and her, I forget his name was Jack Doherty. No, but I was listening to a podcast in which they were saying that, all the 11 missing scientists are not necessarily all scientists. But we're going to name off the 11 identified scientists of individuals, rather. So the most famous one that's, circulating around social media, Amy Eskridge, 34, died by suicide in June 2022. She was an anti-gravity enthusiast. I think she had her own company, Esoteric Sciences Technology, something like that, out of Huntsville, Alabama, which apparently does a lot of NASA things out there. Right? I guess NASA has jet propulsion testing technology, stuff like that. You have Michael David Hicks, 59, died in July 2023. JPL, which I think jet propulsion, something, a researcher who caused death was not publicly released. Right? Right off the bat, suspicious as hell. Amy Eskridge said that she's not going to kill herself. She said she's not going to kill herself. She's not going to kill anybody. She's not going to do none of that shit. She's not going to do none of that shit. Right? But, here we are. Frank Meiwald, if I'm saying that right, Maiwald, 61, died in July 2024. A JPL engineer, cause of death remains undisclosed. Right? When people die of suspicious deaths, and they are attached to not necessarily technology or research, things that are considered classified, whether classified by the government or classified in the sense of corporations, corporate espionage. Just when you have some type of information which is worth taking your fucking life over, that's already somewhat suspicious anyways. All right, next we have Anthony Chavez, 78, missing since 2025, a retired Los Alamos employee who left home on foot without his belongings. So I think this is one that he just left, didn't bring his phone, didn't bring his debit card or wherever the case is. A driver's license, just gone, and still presumed missing. Keep that in mind. Next we have Monica Jacinto Reza, 60, missing since June 2025. Another missing JPL materials engineer who vanished while hiking in the Angeles National Park. Melissa Casillas, 53, missing since June 2025. Another missing, Los Alamos administrative assistant whose family believes she fled voluntarily due to stress. Don't buy that shit. Stephen Garcia, 47, missing since August 2025, a property custodian at the Kansas City National Security Campus who left with a handgun. They're just leaving, right? They're just leaving. what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. I think 5 total out of the 12 that are just missing. Nuno Loureiro, 47, murdered in December 2025. An MIT plasma physicist killed in the shooting linked to Brown University attack. So they're letting you know how these people go missing or just die in different methods, different ways. Almost as if there's different contractors assigned to these people to take them out. And yes, I'm going to say take them out. But we'll hold on to that. Hold on to that, because we're going to circle back to that here in a second. Next, you have Jason Thomas, 45, died in December 2025. Body found March 2026. It's a long ass time. Damn, that's really recent. Novartis researcher who drowned in a Massachusetts lake with no foul play indicate. Didn't have no Obama's cook, right? Didn't know Obama's chef died in the back of the lake. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. People die a lot of different ways. Right? Remember the show was 100 ways to die, 1,000 ways to die, something like that? People die a lot of different ways. This don't really seem like one of them, man. This don't seem like there's no natural, just something that just happens. But, coincidence. Coincidence. Then we have Carl Glumer, 67, murdered in February 2026. A Caltech astrophysicist shot on his porch, with suspect arrested for homicide. So at least that's somebody's attached to that. Once again, seems like different contractors for each individual. Then you have William Neal McCaslin, 68, missing since February 2026. A retired Air Force general who left home with that's not happening. A retired Air Force general who left home with hiking gear and a revolver, but left behind his phone. That's not happening. A retired Air Force general, that's not happening, man. That's not happening. So right off the bat, you don't have to be conspiratorial bullshit to be like, hey, so many things, there's questions, too many questions. And like I said, the fact that the narrative is out there that they're all linked and that they're being called scientists, when a few of them are not scientists. But it makes you wonder, what is the connection? Because this is not coincidence. And then really the bigger question, why are they being pushed onto us like this? Why is this being thrown out there? Because for this to happen during this time, and now for the White House to kind of pick this up and whatnot. So this is a span of the past 4 years, right? A lot of summertime stuff too. June, May, July, June. That I also find that very interesting too. But a lot of the stuff that you see is going on and whatnot in the world as far as the scientists. I heard some stuff too, as far as the scientists going missing in China. It comes down to what information they have access to, what technology they know about, what things are they working on. Maybe it's an employee that saw something he wasn't supposed to see, even though he has top secret clearance. Even if you're a janitor, you got to have some type of security clearance just to work there, where you're at NASA or, wherever the case you're at, or even for a corporation that is dealing with sensitive information that they don't want others to know. So you have all these different things in which people are trying to get after this information, whether it's other countries, adversaries, other governments, stuff like that, whether it's other corporations, wherever the case is, you have all these different things in which people are trying to figure out, hey, how can we get a hold of this information? Or how can we keep this information from getting out? So you don't know who killed them or who took them or wherever the case is, because you don't know the motives. But I think one of the biggest things that I probably heard in one of these videos I've seen on social media, I can't remember the podcast clip that I saw it on and stuff, but it makes me think, because I've been watching the show The Hunting Party on NBC, in which there's this secret top secret prison underground in, I think, Cheyenne, Wyoming. So underground base and stuff, whatnot, and it's like some old nuclear silos, things like that, in which they take these prisoners that were presumed dead, that had like public executions and everything, these serial killers. So they take them under the ground and stuff, and they do all these experiments on them and everything, sometimes for pharmaceutical research. There's a bunch of other reasons. I'm on season 2, so I don't really know how or where it's particularly going so far, but it's good. The first season on Netflix, if you want to check it out, and it's an NBC show. But I say all that because what got me was the fact that they took these serial killers and they saw them as valuable, right? Because they saw them as valuable to some degree, they faked their deaths. So it makes me think about these scientists, because if these scientists are valuable, right? They have information, they have something. So are they being silenced, or are they considered valuable? Because if they're considered valuable, then they're being taken and their deaths are hell. They're not even saying some of them are dead. They're just saying they're missing. Now they just go ahead and take them and just use them to have them continue to do like an Amy Eskridge, have them continue to do their research and what they've been doing. Now this is your full-time focus, because the world knows that you're fucking dead. You have no life to go back to. So, because people get so caught in, oh, they're just going to kill them. But is it in their best interest to kill them? Right? You got to think big brain, big picture. Why kill this person that's utilizing or that's doing this technology, or has discovered or came across some technology, where the case is? Why take them out? Oh, because it got too close, so they know this and stuff. Nah. I'm going to take you out publicly, but I'm going to use you. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. I'm going to spin this situation to my benefit. So it has me thinking about these scientists is, are they actually gone? Are they actually dead? Or are they, still alive somewhere? Just doing some research or wherever, continuing the things that they're doing just underground. I mean, you can say it's that's conspiracy theory and stuff. Well, fuck all that shit, man. Because they leave us with nothing to do but theorize, right? We didn't commit no crime, so it's not no conspiracy. But we have to theorize these things, because if we don't, what? We're just going to be stuck left with the government, governments, media, whatever, corporations giving us these narratives, and we just sit there and accept it. Because this is a common theme. And that's what kind of gets me the most about all this. The narrative. 11, right? Occult, numerology. When you hear stuff in the media, when it's a mainstream thing that's being pushed out, a mainstream narrative, 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 7, you start hearing those numbers and whatnot. Because why not, 4? Right? Why not 8? Well, 11. So it makes me kind of just think a little bit more into this, as opposed to, oh yeah, they knew something, they took them out, they got too close to information. And I think Amy Eskridge talks about future humans, stuff like that. Man, that's a plot for Fringe. And people think that's crazy, but if time travel is invented sometime in the distant future, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, what do you think they're going to do? Right? And eventually it's going to be created, right? It's inevitable. It has already been created, because time is not past, present, future, it's just present. So it just always is. So it's already been created. So these things are already happening anyways. And people think it's crazy, which I don't know why people think it's crazy, because the crazy part of me is not thinking that this shit is not possible. Right? So with the whole 11 missing scientists, we'll see moving forward what it means in the bigger picture. Obviously, you have Disclosure coming up, the movie. Not necessarily the disclosure in itself, but I do think we constantly getting closer and closer. And that's a whole nother topic too, because what is disclosure, right? I guess we need the alien to come on TV, and then everybody, all the governments, just like they did with COVID, and everybody in agreement around the world, all the countries and everything, be like, yeah, this is the alien. And I assume people will see that as, disclosure. They're showing us technology, they're showing this alien stuff, this future human, wherever the case is. Okay, now this is it. I mean, because the evidence been in your fucking face, right? It's there. Whether you want to believe, that will always be determined by you. They can do all that shit. Put an alien on fucking camera, put them up on the set and everything. All the presidents or all the kings and queens and the rulers of different countries around the world and stuff. You know, your top CEOs from all these corporations, they can all stand on stage together and be like, hey, this is a fucking alien. This is a technology and all that stuff. And people still won't believe it. Right? So it is what it is. It's whatever your rationale wants to wrap your head around when it comes to disclosure. But with the whole Stephen Spielberg movie coming up, Steven Spielberg. Anyways, with the Spielberg movie coming up, and I think far as in that movie, it's more about human alien hybrids or whatever. You know, go back to the Anunnaki story and stuff like that. Ancient Mesopotamia. Have fun with that. Hell, you can watch. You can read the Bible and stuff, right? The Watchers or whatever the case is. All types of stuff, man. All types of sci-fi wild shit is right in our fucking face in the literature throughout thousands of years. But you know, you got to modernize it, put in a movie and shit, and then make some money off it. I'll probably watch it. I'm more likely will watch it, right? I am gonna watch it because I like. Well, Steven Spielberg, anyways. I like those type of movies and whatnot. And it'll be something else I can, create content off of and whatnot, get a reaction. But with that and then other things coming up, people are questioning, are these distractions? Are we getting closer and whatnot? We'll just have to see. If anything, it's entertaining. We're in a good time to be alive. This shit is interesting. Right? It's entertaining. It's interesting. Enjoy it. I mean, worst case scenario, we're wrong about all this stuff and it's bullshit. Our worst case scenario, we're completely right about all this shit and our fucking lives turned upside down. Right? No matter how you go, it's something to it. So 11 scientists missing, 11 missing people that are connected. The narrative's being pushed out. Time travel, anti-gravity, fucking jet propulsion, interdimensional beings, all that shit, wherever the case is, we're just going to stick with it. We're going to follow through and just see where it goes, man. I'll catch you on the next episode.
Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, Dave.